Kuzco once said, "I think we all just want to be seen, not lost in the crowd. We all hope someone will find us as we go on living our lives." I hope while you listen to this podcast that you will feel welcome and at peace with yourself. That I might also be the person who finds you in this moment. That in one way or another I'll be able to shed some light on you in order to help you or inspire you in any shape or form. Hi, it's Maria, aka Holy Spicy Chicken Wing, and each time you hear this little sound, something will appear on your screen to illustrate my metaphors and stuff. So, I wish to talk today with you about the concept of power and the idea of love itself, and all the contrasts I could find in between. Welcome to my Holy Diaries Chronicles. Do you know the story of the Emperor Kuzco? If not, don't worry, I'll be narrating his story in my own words, along with the chapters in this video, because I was stimulated while watching this animation the other day. I found a lot of correlations in the middle of it about the subject of power and love. Anything can be deep if you change your perspective anyway, if you travel to the tip of the iceberg. My ambition here is that you enjoy this magical time with me. I can't wait to fulfill it. Long ago, somewhere in the jungle, a llama's tears melted away. They danced to the tune of raindrops. All his power was gone. The emperor was turned into a beast. He was scared and alone. What could have he done to deserve this? He wondered. If you know me, you probably acknowledge my love for the primitive state of being. After all, I'm feral. When I saw our Emperor Kuzco crying, just left, misunderstood, it made me feel for him more. Parts of me believe his character is a fraction of my spirit animals, like King Julian too. An emperor is the sovereign ruler of an empire. He has all of the power and assets that people can give. Once Kuzco was transformed, he became utterly powerless. He had nothing. But what is power? Could it be ego? Third world countries? Blood money, wars, politics, drugs, the underworld, rules, justice? What is power? I've asked a few here and there, how do you define power? They replied, a force, light, mental strength, focus. It comes from within, an obstinance which doesn't budge, knowledge, money, a businessman's hunch. It is in you. To be honest with you, it could be all of these things. Interact with your phone, seek for the definition of power, and all you would see is a whole umbrella of meaningless words typed black on white for a word which transcends its own terms. I was powerless like Kuzco too lately. My son Caligula passed away. Rest in peace, my bowl of noodle chicken soup. And I'm mad. I have not been posting on my channel despite wanting to. I was pretty low energy. I traveled a lot since the beginning of the year. I celebrated and I needed to recharge my batteries too. I got tired and fed up of our whole fudging planet. I got into my introspection mode. I painted a lot for the sole purpose of providing my client with his canvases. I worked on multiple projects at a time. During the time I was not there, I got a new baby girl. Luna. Her colors imitate the moon, that's why she was named after it. Luna means moon in Spanish. She's very affectionate, even more than Caligula. I miss him though. a lot. There is just something about this world which will always get me to wonder, why the hell are we even here? And there is just something about just me being all sweaty, stressed, paint on my hair, just trailing a few strokes with my paintbrush in a hermetic silent environment at 4 a.m., which always get me to wonder, I might know actually why I'm here. A few of you might feel sometimes uninvited, misunderstood, very reflective compared to others who seem to grasp and slide on the concept of life so easily. But let me tell you this, there's so much power in expressing yourself, creating. Every artist will know the feeling I'm talking about, from stroking gently the chords of your guitar to the isolated resonance of your step in an empty theater stage as a performer. When no one is watching, you just dive in it with passion and raw, unfiltered emotions. That's power. There's just something about art, no matter what you're passionate about, isn't it? The Demon Llama! The emperor was fined by a villager called Pacha, whom he once mocked when he was governing as a human being. The leader thought he stumbled upon a demon llama. Who would have thought that an arrogant, powerful man was trapped in this crusty vessel? The contrast between the villager Pacha and the Emperor Kuzco is like day and night. It reminded me of power in the configuration of our globe spectrum, of wars betwixt oppositions. It reminded me of our planet's countries and their wannabe rankings. I'm sorry, Luna is tickling me, she's licking my feet. Luna. Okay. Stop, it tickles me. Stop kissing me. Stop kissing my feet. Okay. The Third World, for instance, was a term which arose during the Cold War. We used to have 3 words, okay? They were defined by their political and economic divisions, some of which are more developed or less industrialized. Now I think it's disputable to agree to disagree that those still exist within firm lines, because the level of a country's prosperity was not measured by how aligned they were with any major political power move from other countries. You know what I mean? No, me neither. But I think that we can still see where power is still somehow distributed through our map, our Earth itself, across the globe. Approximately, the towers of numbers fluctuate on the clock anyways. And which numbers are we really talking about? If you want to see some captivating little documentary series, I recommend Vice. You'll learn a lot from it. I never knew those people existed. And usually those people are filled with happiness despite their misery. So that's cool to see, at least. I hate politics. This isn't new. It bothers me to even think about it. When you step out from the system, when you look at our world from a much larger scale as the universe itself, you get to understand that we're so small and fragile at the end of the day. Memento mori. It doesn't matter if you see a demon llama on your way or not. It doesn't really matter who seem to be pulling the puppet strings or what seem to be dominant within the society's rules or your point of view. When the sun is at the right angle, shafts of light break through the palm forest canopy. Once you have drifted away from all the illusions, once you groove to your own frequency and authenticity, you will realize that you see slices of yourself everywhere and in everyone. Power can be so meaningless, and yet it can be everything with a giant E. Power is whatever you give power to. And once you start to comprehend that, you might not feel alone anymore. You will get to understand others, people that you may not necessarily admire, and see them for who they might be, which is maybe a reflection of you. Kronk's Angels. Kronk's Angels! Do you know how our dear emperor was turned into a llama? Well, long story short, it was due to Kronk's mistake. Isma, formerly the king advisor and an old friend of our emperor, used to daydream about acquiring Kuzco's power. She wanted Kronk to poison him, leading to a horrible, tremendous, unnoticed murder. But Kronk, being as stupid and adorable as he is, he used the inaccurate potion, the turning your bum into a llama's ass on Kuzco. Whenever in a dilemma, his personalized demon and angel popped out from his shoulders. Whenever he was trying to judge a task to be ethical or not. Interesting enough, we all have this duality within us. The good versus the evil. Had you ever come across the bloodlines where you mix both of them? It's so uneasy and uncomfortable. You try to put yourself in other people's shoes, but you just don't comprehend them, despite widening your lens, despite coming from a place of universal love, despite trying your best. Have you ever lost hope in humanity when you saw someone being so damn awful to you? You probably did. You probably even had some dark thoughts towards them in all secrecy. Don't lie to me. But here's a secret for you. The luscious side of me embodying love, the heart, the wholesome part of my split personality is known as me, Maria, the feminine loving one. And then there's a dreadful energy in me, embodying power, the mine, the egoistical part of my personality, which is known as a masculine douchebag emperor. I baptized him Vito. And no, I'm not bipolar. I just like to keep things interesting with me, myself, and I. Or in this case, between me and Vito. Which is why I could relate to Kuzco sometimes on so many levels, regardless of the fact that he might be very challenging to deal with. Or in other words, horrible, yet funny. But aren't we all to some extent? Vito is always there to protect me. In this situation where I mixed both of my personalities, the Vito in me, the Mariah in me, whenever I mixed the part of me which is Vito and the part of me which is Maria, it gives birth to one memory and a few ones. And in my last gaming video, I gave a hint about what this little story was gonna be about with the song ACAB by Zilla Camille. And if you don't know what it means, I ain't gonna say it. Alright, it means all cops are beautiful. They wish. Here's what I've scribbled in my diary. 3921. So cold here. Had an accident tonight. With a policia. Wee-oo, wee-oo. Oh yeah, sometimes I write the sounds that I hear in my mind. Don't bother. It makes me think of a song. That man was so fucking mean. And not empathetic, like classic. Anyways, I feel even more powerful now. Okay, alright, I was at fault, but the tiny little kitty cat scratches on his motorcycle obviously didn't came from me. Meant wanted that money, some cash. Made me stand in the freezing cold for a while when all I did was lightly brush his bike. I didn't even saw him. Man was not even wearing damn thing they're supposed to wear at night. Oh well, he do be just want more and more money for nothing, huh? His insurance will laugh at him for that. I'm sorry if I write in my diary sometimes like I'm stupid. But I am stupid and I like to talk like that. Okay, so if you were here with me, you would understand the case and why I got mad. I know it's my fault, I know I kind of bumped into him, but it was not even a lot. Like it was like a slight push forward. I'll make a little drawing of it very quickly so you get to understand how it happened. It was night. He wasn't wearing, the fluorescent jacket they're supposed to wear. And he was really in the corner taking a few step backs on his motorcycle because he crossed the white line. And by the time I realized that I saw him, it was too late. And I kind of like bumped into him, but very, very lightly. I never have accidents with people because I drive like insanely good. And I drive only manual. And that's a skill. Because I love it. I love driving, by the way, if you didn't know. I enjoy driving a lot. I used to do a lot of karting when I was young. Anyways. And, yeah. I mean, I was very angry at him because out of the blue, he got out of his motorcycle as if he was like so insanely enraged for me just pushing him a little bit, not even a lot. I was driving at 20. I'm just like braking. And anyways, let's continue reading whatever. I was pissed at first, but hey, there's a lot of lowlifes out there. I highly deserve better than that. Him thinking that I won't keep my dignity by repairing his bike or by calling my dad multiple times is just ridiculous. We're not the same, like, bruh. We'll fix it like Felix, like values. Foreign to them money-hungry locals. Bargain basement monkey donkey? Someone who would be filled with gratification would have let me go. What annoyed me the most is that he was super angry for nothing. His motorcycle didn't have anything. He was intact. It was just a little push. Nothing more, nothing less. So that pissed me off because he was like, after all, he talked to me like, so what you gonna do? He talked to me very not polite, by the way. It was like, so what are you gonna do now? You're gonna pay me for my money? Or we go to the police, we file a case or whatever the hell. I'm a policeman, by the way. Etc. And he shows me that little ridiculous thing they have. Like, yeah. And then he was like, I was like, I don't know. I never had an accident. How was it supposed to go? He was losing patience with me because I wasn't talking or replying back. Because whenever I start to lose it, if there's one thing you got to know about me, is that I'll shut down. My system will shut down. I'll wonder, how should I respond? Because I don't want to come across as very evil. And I don't want to come across as very good, too. It depends on the person. And as I saw his energy, I was like, I don't know how to respond with this type of human. He's very not empathetic. He is at fault too. His bike got nothing, but he was persisting that I made the cat scratches that were on his bike, which was ridiculous because I could have never done that. He was just looking for money. And he didn't want to let me go. It was nighttime. It was cold. I'm alone. I'm a girl. He's a guy. A lot could happen, especially if a cop is has like the lowest values. Like, you never know. And usually I wouldn't stop if there was a bunch of them, you know. But here it was one, so I was like, okay. And anyways, what I wrote is, but I'm so grateful. Thanks, universe, for always protecting me, for making these occurrences rare. Thank you, universe, for making this incident lighter, keeping my scars to myself, rather than with a bunch of heat. Thank you, universe, for bringing light into my life, for always making me win no matter what. I'm so in love with you. I feel like I'm your favorite. You're mine too. By the way, I was more pissed when he was continuing. I didn't know what to do, so I called my dad. I was like, what should I do? And then he said, okay, I'm gonna come to see what happened. And then he came, and he himself was like, man, this man is like, what the hell? Because you didn't do anything to his bike, and he's looking for money. What the hell? Anyways, and he was calling us multiple times as if we were gonna steal from him. We weren't gonna own it and pay him back. That annoyed me because I'm not like that at all. And when people think that you are like them, it's awful because you're like, okay, you are this type of human being. That doesn't mean that I am. I'm very clear. I was very precise with him. I was like, okay, ciao. We're gonna do that, that, now that I know what to do. See ya. If you don't trust us, that's your fucking problem, but there's no reason not to, because we have more values than you, apparently. Especially the way he talked, damn it. I hate that. I really hate people who doesn't know how to talk, how to behave. Like, there's a certain way, especially when you can see that the girl never had an accident. Like, you could have been like more gentle rather than just hateful. But anyways, I was so happy despite the overall circumstances. Ha 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 ha. Lol. How to read that? I don't really care about anything except them thanks that serve me right, keeping them fake ass cringe worthy and concept bay, while the real ones do be bay in the jungle with me. Hehe. I saw how treasured and loved I was today, and this is priceless. Anyways, I feel even more powerful now. I came, I saw, I conquered, winning always. Sometimes power and love might be in conflict, like in this situation. I tried to say calm. I tried to stay calm, but I couldn't be comprehensive in regards to that man's energy. I told my buddy, who does my tattoos, about this story, and he was like, you know, he might be influenced by the cartels, right? That fucker just wants money to buy drugs. If someone don't respect you, if they trigger your angels, respond to the minimum, like I did. It saved me a lot of trouble to just shut up. No matter how polite or nice I was to this policeman, he played me. But I didn't lose it, despite having hot blood. And I lose it very fast. If you knew how much progress I made through the years just to calm me down whenever I get frustrated, I can say that I'm proud of myself because I didn't break anything when I came back home. And I'm like, whew, thank you, you stop acting like a jerk. Besides, that guy saw me for who I was not, but for who he was. I own it, not like people as his kind. The people who lack abundance will push you down to try to pull themselves up. It never looks good Trust me. You, despite having accumulated some of your abundance, you encounter people like that and they make you feel a little bit more empty, a little bit day by day, but then you fill it up. You know what I mean? You don't stay salty like they are, getting his frustration out on me. I didn't know him. He was a stranger. Like, calm your tits, Linda. If a hater gator says to you, "Oh, why are you wasting your time even practicing playing the violin? You make my ears bleed. You'll never get there." They are just reflecting their own insecurities onto you. That's what I'm trying to say. They are the one who can't commit. They can't commit to practice. Not you, boo-boo. You shine. You keep shining. Spread the love. In the name of Pacha's heart, God is love. Pacha, the chief villager who tried to rescue Kuzco, was neglected by our emperor. His suggestion for the betterment of his small community was denied when the emperor wanted to build a giant pool attraction on Pacha's home. He was bound to lose his house to the egocentric nature of a ruler. Why did I say egocentric like that? I say centric. What the hell? Nature of a ruler. He was bound to lose his house to the egocentric nature of a ruler. Why am I saying egocentric? I can't. Oh, fuck. Okay. He was bound to lose Pacha. Pacha was bound to lose his house to the egocentric nature of a ruler as he tried to help Kuzco in getting back to his human form. He never ceased to treat the emperor with love. And that is a reflection of God. That is power. This is what I call powerful. Regardless of any organized religious beliefs you accept or reject, I myself, by the way, ain't that religious. I'm more into spirituality and philosophy. But anyways, in every religion, there is a teaching which is always mirrored and repeated underneath all the biased opinions and scriptures. And this knowledge is love. More often than once, I felt like I would never understand some individual's lack of empathy. Most of the times I was like, really? This is all we got? Worst part is that you don't have to look far away to find humans who disturbs your inner peace, who drag you down. You might just as well find them within your family, or in this case, quote, family, unquote. I think that we all have a side of a family which shows that you didn't choose them. For instance, me, I completely ignore most of my father's side of a family because all they care about is money. They are the type to be religious, posting on social media about helping thousands of unfortunate people, trying to cover up for their wrong deeds, and living a lie. Their vibes were always off to me since I was a child, but now they don't even exist to me. They mistreated my dad out of jealousy. If someone spits venom to one of the members in my family, they're dead to me. Trash will have much more value than them to my eyes, and that they will ever hope to get from me. And that's on power, baby. This is Vito speaking. My dad is one of my biggest weaknesses. If someone talks badly about him, I will instantly think they are worth peanuts. Not even peanuts, in all honesty. I'm very protective of him. I'm the only one who can bully him because I'm Daddy's little monster, his favorite. He knows I'll fight for him. Don't tell him, but he my favorite one too. 'Cause his Steve do be funny sometimes. If some people trigger the ego in you, my piranha, cut the damn bridge. That's all I can say to you. You come from a place of love. You are love. Don't let other people damage you because of their own twisted thoughts. It's not your cross to carry, not your burden, not yours. It's theirs. Save yourself and don't even respond to them. Down to the canals we go, baby. The Emperor Kuzco got saved by Pacha. And thanks to Kronk too, accidentally. He dived into the canals of his own emotions and rejuvenated as a better man. I love Mark Manson. His books and wisdom really inspires me. He once said in his book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, this: you are no special snowflake. And that inspires me to say it to you. If you think you're the only guy or girl or just being who seem to have suffered in so many ways, you are wrong. Stop victimizing yourself. Easier said than done, but you deserve better. Oh, so what? Boo-hoo-hoo. You got baggage, huh? Wow, so special. This is Vito speaking. This is not me. Don't hate me for it. But oh, boo-hoo-hoo. You fear being vulnerable because you once got a little boo-boo from someone you truly cared for and opened up to? Oh, don't get me started. We all got betrayed. We all got scars. We all went through a shit load of pain. Some even more than you'll ever bear to experience in your whole entire life. Believe it or not. But you are no special snowflakes. Say snowflakes. I'm sorry to break it to you. One day or the other, you'll have to finally be vulnerable. Vulnerability is courage. And someone who doesn't possess this refined quality of opening their own heart is a coward. Get out of your own hole. Scream if you have to. Express yourself. You will only grow from it. Trust me. My new tattoo guy told me the other day, as I was getting inked by him, that his wife and him got into a small fight. I'm a great listener, so people after seeing me after 2 days start to tell me everything about their lives, plus we have great energy, so it clicked. But anyways, he told me about his reasoning and I told him to fix things up, to be vulnerable without hurting himself. He didn't even do anything wrong, particularly he's loyal, but she, as any women, doubted of his love when he didn't demonstrate it enough. And in my head I was like, oh hell nah. Another guy who got extremely hurt probably when he was a teenager, like all boys, just once, and who closed himself ever since. So cliche. You are no special snowflake. We all went through failure. Get over it, Linda. This is still Vito speaking. That's not me. Blame him, not me. Well, that's like blaming myself, but oh well, you get the point. Everybody has their own demons to deal with, which is why I recommend to never be judgmental. If others are, that's their issue. They're missing a lot. Don't pay attention to them. Love is one of the most powerful things to exist on planet Earth. Feel it. Be it. I love this quote from Hannibal Lecter from the movie Red Dragon. My dear Will, you must be healed by now. On the other side, at least. I hope you're not too ugly. What a collection of scars you have. Never forget who gave you the best of them, and be grateful. Our scars have a power to remind us that the past was real. We live in a primitive time, don't we, Will? Neither savage nor wise. Half measures are the curse of it. Any rational society will either kill me or put me to some use. Do you dream much? Well, I think of you often. Your old friend, Hannibal Lecter. Whatever pain you felt in the past shouldn't be a death sentence. Accept it, take the wisdom, and own it. Transform it into love. Kindness is a virtue. It is praiseworthy. And we are our own worst judge most of the time, and we often forget it. So be kind to you. I've talked about the concept of reality and dissociation in a few podcasts. To even think that the past was real makes me think of paranoia. You know, sometimes a trauma might have been brought to life by a childhood incident. I always felt like I have always been watched, even when I'm alone most of the times. And more often than not, I have found that this is very common with other people too. I can't really pinpoint the memory which triggered it though. I was like, was this the incident from when someone saw me in the shower when I was still a kid, naked and free, and that made my heart jump out of my chest because I was already old enough to take my showers alone after a few ones at 6? Or was it something else? I think there's another term for it, more precise, but I forgot. I did my research and it just said paranoia, which is more of a severe psychosis, I believe. Sometimes due to drug abuse. It has so much more symptoms. Paranoia has so much more symptoms. And it makes me think of a masterpiece, Lullaby by The Cure, which is a classic. In order to be kind to myself, I don't say, hey, I think I'm insane. There's no one around and yet I feel a presence, a gaze, someone looking at me and I think I'm not normal. Instead, I actually turn my whole situation around. I'm used to say that to myself, that this is probably, it must be my protective, drunken guardian angel who watches over me. See how I'm turning even trauma to power? This is a skill. I learn it. I've always imagined my guardian angel to look like this. Or this. I even turn pain into joke. That's one of my favorite talents. Down to the canals we go, baby. Your answer is somewhere in. The tradition of past generations waits like the Alps on the brains of the living. You have to feel your emotions to turn them into love and power. He spreads joy everywhere he goes. These psychological traits with an undertone of paranoia made me think of one of my favorite artists, which is Young Lean. He's a Swedish rapper. I've seen a documentary recently, which is linked down below in the description, titled In My Head, which touched me like many others. The video is about how behind the scenes he struggled with fame, drug addiction, and mental health issues. Like the description say itself. It's about his coming of age story told with unparalleled access on his road to recovery. This is a situation where I find that power and love has transcended space, time, and a very artistic, expressive force field. From all the power he gained from his rise, that nerdy kid from Stockholm lost it. He suffered an imbalance through the circumstances in his life. Everything changed for him. Sometimes you would think that having it all would actually bring a lot of happiness to you. But be careful for what you wish for. You might not be prepared enough for it. At the same time, if you wait too long to make your dreams come true, you might just as well never take a step towards them. Balance is so important. Yin-yang energy. Enjoy each step. Everything happens for a reason. You better believe it is for your own good. No matter what transformation you go through. Power and love can make you wholesome. You just have to interconnect them by being kind to yourself and to others, by fighting for yourself and others. His music impacted all of his fans, brought so much joy and love. You know how many of them travel miles and miles just to see him perform and to feel, share his pain? This is the power of art, of love. I really recommend watching the documentary if you already know about him. It's very interesting. Me talking about it won't even do it justice, so I'll stop. My favorite song from him is Agony. When you feel the lyrics, music hits to another level. His drawings are dope too. I love his mind. It brought me so much pain to see the amount of hurt in that guy. Because I can tell that he's genuine despite being in the musical industry, where everything just goes with what glitters the most. I relate to that transparent, omnipresent vulnerability. Isolation caved in. I adore the sound of your skin. There are so many people who actually struggle and got their head out of the water. So don't you worry if you feel like drowning, because I know that you'll give yourself a chance to breathe again. Only remind yourself that you have the emotional intelligence to ignite the passion in yourself again, especially if you're stuck in a rut. It happens to the best of us. Ken Jeong, great example. He was going through his darkest time, a depression before he got his big break in Hungover. He's just so funny in that movie. I've watched every Hungover twice. Him and Zach Gaffi, I don't know how to say his name, have some patience, Galifianakis. Him and Zach are in crème de la crème tier energy for sure. Certified holy crème de la crème. Now imagine how many millions of million smiles he drew on his audience's face. There are so many artists in their own profession who always kept pushing, like diamonds in the making. Never give up. We might just as well need you, Ohana. The doctor dressed the wound, but God heals it. You might be aiding yourself by studying, reading about self-help books to get you out of a mess, an entangled mix of feelings, emotions, but your faith will heal you. You can replace God by love if you want to. It's the same thing. I accept your beliefs for what they are. This is why I'm suggesting this. Sometimes I help myself by listening to my favorite songs to get in my feels and to be sure that I'm not alone. Snuff by Slipknot is a song that I go back to every once in a while by embracing the pain. I find solace in sharing the melody with my favorite artists. Pieces by Red boosts my faith and makes me feel better about the idea of death. Forever Waiting for You at My Window by Puya makes me feel a comfortable nostalgia as its instrumental go bananas. Love is what you need to give to yourself no matter what you do. Life is too short to dwell in the rabbit hole. There's beauty even in pain. You just have to stop looking at it for what it is. See it for what it could be, through love and tenderness towards yourself. Everything will be okay at the end. Everything will always be okay. Too much salt on my Spinach puffs! In Kronk's new groove, we get to comprehend more of his character, and this particular question resumes pretty much his whole story. He always had doubts in himself because of his father, who never showed that he was proud of him. Isma took advantage of his kindness for her own benefits since the beginning of times. His doubts made me realize that we as humans might let the saltiness of some people drive us insane. In your life, you will let some people have power over you, which is normal. It comes with love and respect. But some beings have a power over you without the love even, and take Isma as an example. She only loved herself and money. She used Kronk and hurt him so many times. I am not saying that embodying love will 100% keep the self-obsessed folks away from you, but how you reply to their energy is crucial. Imagine you become very successful or famous. The line between power and love will start to dissipate. Basic sugar daddy scenario. Why do we see young wannabe hot plastic next to an old weird looking guy? You got that right. It's money. It's power confused as love for some, blinded by their own pride and their own ego. Some say that these two are the most powerful thing on earth. Might be true for some, but you? Birds of a feather really do flock together. I know you're not like that. That reassures me. I know that you don't think that that is true. I love money, but it is not the focal point of any lives. Sometimes when I see ass lickers just orbiting like moths to a flame while networking with a rich or famous guy, I just think it's ridiculous. Sometimes it feels like you have to sell your own soul in order to gain power. You don't know who's fake, who wants your money, who wants some of your clout. They just want to use you, disguising this fact with empathy and quote care unquote for you. Big notorious brands like, let's say, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, their target audience aren't ultra rich people. They are for the ones who would like to appear wealthy. Makes you wonder about what is real wealth, huh? Food for thoughts, my piranha. Now, of course, some people just love the fashion of it, which I do too. But yeah, that itself says a lot about our society and how brains work. Learn to not give a fuck. Operate smartly. Don't work harder. Grind sharply. And set priorities. Values that you truly care about to stay sane within our little world. Make sure that you don't let too much salt fall on your Spinach puffs. So, for instance, I know for me that once a guy annoyed me and all I wanted to say to him, which I didn't say, but I really thought about it, and it was like, in my mind I was like, hey, Gazpacho, keep that zucchini down in your pants, because you know what? I'm gonna take your left snowball and sell it to the black market. Now, if you didn't know, the left one costs much, mucho more than the right one. You're welcome, you learned something new today. We all thought about stuff that we never thought of when people trigger us. With everything that is happening around us, it's hard sometimes to be like, wow, we are the most intelligent species? Really? TikTok, for instance, is such a big thing now, and it's filled with porn for impressionable children with disgusting, rioting trends, where sexuality, as usual, is being sold to them. This is too much sold for our Spinach puffs. More and more girls are getting under the scalpel while having BDD, body dysmorphic disorder, and only apparently 7 to 15% of cosmetic surgery patients have had their mental health increased after a procedure. I saw this in a video about psychology. By some people it is perceived as a stigma, but if it makes you feel more confident and better in your skin, rock it. It is a personal decision after all, but just know it won't mean that people will like you more. It's scientific. That's salty and rough. Too many girls feel the need of conforming to the culture due to pressure around beauty. The biggest popular shows on Netflix held Squid Game, another one was Game of Thrones, a lot of blood and sex sometimes, and the world is just so violent. And brutality is not really a power of its own. Too much salt. Damn. I love Squid Game, by the way, but the VIPs were just clowns. I don't think they captured the essence of humans who might like to see others get killed for their own pleasure, but oh well, what do I know? It makes me think of another quote from Red Dragon. He's not going to stop. Why not? Because it makes him God. Would you give that up? To be affected or influenced by everything that you see around you might not be a choice. You might think of stuff you haven't thought of before, but to let it define you, who you are, this is the choice. Love will always conquer, like Spinach puffs. Have courage. Challenge your outdated assumptions if you must. Life can be magical only if you co-create and cooperate with it. To stay as authentic and beautifully pure as you can. This is power. Cheer up, chipmunk. Do not seek perfection too much, as this could become toxic by stopping you from taking action, stopping you from expressing yourself, or stopping you from making decisions even. When I'm missing in action, when I'm MIA, it means that I might be struggling sometimes. It really puts me in a limbo, full of doubts. You should rid yourself of your inferiority complex and your constant sense of guilt, as these will always push you to want to offer more than what you are able to. This is the only thing I can give to you for the moment. This podcast. It might be filled with unstructured ideas, but I hope that it made you feel comfortable and safe nonetheless. I've started to watch Vikings only because my friend told me that I had the same exact fun savage personality as Ivor the Boneless, which I took as a compliment after watching the whole series, which became one of my favorites. Some might even say that I'm more like Lagerta. Great show. Anyways, Ragnar once said, "Power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up." Damn, I love that character and actor so much. He's so humble and majestic. Medieval nerd stuff, yep, that's me. But if you want power or love, both, you need to make sacrifice on the way. You'll get bruised, but you need to feel the pain, the love in every inch of your body. For that's the key to unlock hunger, pursuit. Know that so much time questioning oneself is not good. Stay focused, take it as lightly as you can. You have to enjoy the journey of getting what you want or need, whatever it may be. It's not about who wins over who, what, or where. It's about being able to find gratitude towards who you are, to nurture your most authentic self, and hopefully share the fondness. Kronk and Kuzco had a similarity in their journey, the lack of kindness towards themselves. They didn't comprehend that they had the power to be who they truly are at the end of the day, which is a reflection of love. They are love. And when they understood that, they got their power back. Boogie, woogie, and love, my chipmunk. Be the change you want to see. Ignore the naysayers. Be biased if you have to. Use your primal force to emulate beautiful energy, like a passionate Viking as I love them, a real diamond in the rough. Stay faithful. You're more powerful than what you think. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end this with this. The divine kingdom is within you, which means that it is in your thoughts, your feelings, and your imagination.